Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. We're going to talk about Bounty, the new CM Diary, the new calendar, and anything else you guys would like to talk about. The links in the right hand side in case anybody else would like to join. Let's say hello to everybody. Magic Mike,
Howdy do.
the Saint.
Good day, everyone.
You got a new pet mouse.
We got 100 new pet mouse.
Okay, KB. What about you?
No mice here.
Okay, glad to hear it.
Cat won't let them alone.
Okay, well, you might, if they ever reach you, you might have to stop feeding them for a while. So, and Pegleg.
Greetings, everybody. Looking forward to the weekend. Hope the rest of you are too.
Sounds good. Let's get moving, Mike.
Oh, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We went through this on Wednesday. They added corrosive defense to pretty much everything that had corrosive defense, or all defenses available to it. I don't know how much more we need to go through that. And they added the scattergun critical to junkyards, and then I keep on forgetting the name of the one they have not done that to. It's a 1-star crew, or it's a silver crew.
Deadeye Destroyers.
Deadeye Destroyers. I keep on forgetting the name of that one. And then it's up in the air as far as some of these other ones that are out there that are some of these other things that I don't know. Maybe we'll get more clarification coming up soon. The defense handicap stat has not occurred yet. And the Abomination max weight has increased to 142 to account for the new armors. Your Ruthless Ravager X1 will be getting plus 20 evade along with the rest of your ships, which was not originally presented. And then the other two I have no idea about. So any thoughts, or should we move on? Okay.
Now, we covered it all before, so I think we can move forward.
Okay. This is just us making sure everybody knows that you can win available, not available till a couple more days. And Bounty, you can locate the Kixeye bases using your locator, which is a good move. So,
Nice little touch. Yep.
Yeah, it's actually been nice to be able to just click on it. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Go find it. Yeah, that's been good.
Yeah, and they've had some issues where they that I've seen where they've had a couple with the same number, and then they changed I think it was the 124s both had the same number, and then they changed it to a 164, and there was already another 164.
I didn't see that, but that's funny.
Yeah, but there are two different levels.
Yeah.
There were two different 124s. There's the quartermaster, and then there's the captain. But the quartermasters now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So.
Because there's no other numbers available between 1 and 160.
Yeah, that's why I'm always curious when they, what they did with the FM, where they, okay, we're going from 162 to 160, I mean, like, whoa, what happened? I don't know if we're going to go back to the 163. That never happened. I don't quite. It seems just like logical to just move them up one at a time, and not have to, when they made a 124 or 164, why did they have to jump it up by 40? Yep. I do not understand, but oh well.
Why use that L word? Logic.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move forward. All right, we got the June 21, 2021 calendar out now. Right now we're in May 3rd. Bounty, May 3rd week. Bounty, High Ground, Titanic, and Murderous Intent. This is also the week, if you look forward, that you want to save all of your tokens from this week, you can spend your FM tokens from previous weeks however you want. I mean, whatever decadent way that you want to use those, but save the ones from this week and next week in order to jump ahead with the next skirmish ship, the Harbinger, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That way you can get you can save up plenty of build time to get them as equipped as possible for VXP weekend. There's some interesting things in the June calendar. The Feral Beast, which is for your Badger. Not sure what's going to be available in there as far as, are we going to get kits and upgrades? Are we just going to get build and tech? I don't know. And then the following week is for Voting Seas. And that is for the Harbinger, the next skirmish fleet. So it's great that they actually have that on the calendar. We had a problem getting the Murderous Intent originally on the calendar because somehow they weren't telling the CM about that TLC because it was new. And we have the Beach Party, which is a special event. So the expectations is actually working out well with the calendar because we have the Beach Party. That generally means that we're going to have an extra week of FM prior to the next raid. So we will have much more latitude, hopefully, in regards to build time prior to the first raid. So we'll have an extra week of natural build time and an extra week of FM tokens.
Yeah. And it's nice that they're doing that TLC on only the second week as well, so it gives you a bit of flexibility for upgrades and stuff like that. So that's good.
Yeah, because we'll have the whole pillage thing, and what are we going to do there? And yeah, it's great. I think there was enough pushback from people because they were doing the week before the raid. So I think the people spoke. I think some of them are on this show that spoke that was not the best way to do it.
Yeah. That week before, when you're doing pillage, that's when you're getting your flagship. So you want to concentrate on getting your flagship done and maybe your flagship upgraded a couple of levels. So I think that's a good way they've done it.
Yeah, and also there's not, because normally VXP weekend there's not really much to do, and then bounty, if you're not doing bounty, not much to do. And then a normal week, then it's pillage and then the raid when we don't have that extra week in the month. So it's basically, people don't have much to do for a couple of weeks, besides FM and, so at least there's the TLC for something for people to do inside the game outside of autoing targets in the FM. So I like it. All right. Any more calendar thoughts? All right, let's move on then. Guerilla Warfare is going to be the next raid where we get the Harbinger, the weapon, the standard weapon, the non-limited weapon, the Rising Gatling gun. I'm sure we'll get 10 of those. We'll get 10 of the limited ones in the pillage the week before, if everything goes to plan. And then we get a special, the Reckoning munition casing, and then the damage diffusion system too. So I'm guessing that we're going to get the engine in pillage because it appears what we're getting, the normal weapon, the ship, the normal weapon, and it appears to be a damage special or a splat because we're getting a Gatling gun that they all do splash and whatnot. And then we get a defensive special that sometimes adds a little bit of combat speed and a little bit of evade. But my hope is in pillage that we'll get the engine as opposed to having to get that later in some sort of FM type of situation. So what's everybody's favorite name? Because people aren't going to spell out Harbinger. So what's everybody's favorite nickname for that ship? I'm going with Binger, but
You're going to the Binger?
Binger, yeah. Okay.
Hard.
You know. Yeah. I mean, you could go that short.
Or hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and that seems more likely than the Binger. But the other thing I noticed is I put a definition of Harbinger and Reckoning in there, and it makes me think whatever we get, we have a Gatling gun. This is skirmish. So Gatling guns usually fire when they are surfaced, but it makes me sort of think our targets are going to be subs. You know, the Harbinger is a person or thing that announces the signals the approach of another. Reckoning is the action or process of calculating or estimating something. So they're all looking forward, like you're seeing more than you normally would. So I don't know. Does that sound? Anybody have any ideas besides we have a good amount of thermal, or I don't know.
Well, it could have an order that surfaces subs, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, or announced. Yeah. We could have a. We could have. What do you call those? The yellow auras that surface as subs.
A cavitation.
Yeah,
cavitator.
Yeah. So that could be it as well, or both. But that's at least what I'm thinking as far as what they're trying to clue us into. So, all right. Any more thoughts on guerrilla warfare?
Not at this point.
A lot of sniping.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they actually come up with as far as the target. I think they realized that some of the targets are a little bit of a weak sauce, boring thing, and some of these targets work better in a TLC than they do in the raid. An example of that would be the one where everything blew up, the gunpowder one.
The Gladius.
The Gladius ones. People didn't like them that much in the raid because if you did them effectively, it cut way back on your points. But I found the TLCs to be highly enjoyable.
And
because they weren't time consuming.
And it wasn't the same action again and again. Like with the photons, it's like you got to do the same trick or whatever you want to call it over and over and over again in regards to it was just so repetitive. And especially with this current Murderous Intent TLC, if you do them with photons, it is just way too many things to hit in 5, 6, and 7. It's just they're too long unless you're using the Ravagers, and we'll get into the Ravagers in a little bit because if you have them built to a decent extent and you got the flagship, highly recommended over the photons. It's going to cut your damage way back. It's not going to be you drive like a bull in the china shop as long as you keep moving. You're in good shape, and generally it's instant repair on the water, depending on your level and your level of upgrade and your level of technology. And especially with because it's new with the Ravagers, I found it really boring with the photons. So maybe because it's just different at this point, I would probably get bored of it with the Ravagers after this go round.
Well, I think with the photons, you have to be quite careful about how you drive it. You still got to turn and run away from the ghost crawlers just to minimize your damage. With the Ravagers, they're so quick, you can avoid most of the dumbfire weapons. So you can just keep running around and not have to think about it quite as much. Yes, it's a lot of clicks, but it's a lot of clicks with the photons as well. So I think it's just easier. It's just less technical to do it with the Ravagers.
Yeah, because with the photons, you had to, with the scattergun turrets, you had to snipe them, as opposed to you don't have that choice with the Ravagers, but you're fast enough, like you said, to outrun the splash zone. Because unless I screw up, when I get my battle report at the end, I get some missile damage, a huge amount of it's evaded, but then there's no bar at all on my corrosive. Like it didn't even exist in the target. So yeah, it may get boring after this go round, but it's not bad this time around. So, and it's gets done in like 35 minutes.
So just
looking
keep
at the damage
diffusion system that exists at the moment, that gives splash damage reduction, evade bonus, and bonus combat speed. So evade bonus, if we get exactly the same on the damage diffusion system 2, might suggest that we're going to be against torpedoes again as well.
Very probable.
The last version of damage diffusion didn't really work that well either, from memory.
Yeah, because nobody really trusts the splash damage reduction stat, do they? We don't really know whether it's working or not.
I kind of buy the fact that it's working. It's just so far less effective than anybody expects it to be.
Yes, and we have the whole issue where it stacks with, it becomes less, at least in the previous version, it became less and less effective as you upgraded your ships, and had your more ships built, because you had your normal survival, because it's a survival, mechanism that sort of adds on to your basic damage type survival. And so maybe it works pretty well at U0, but once you start adding on more and more survival, it becomes less and less effective unless it has some other attribute that's useful to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Well, generally the bonus is the extra speed, isn't it? And or evade.
You can get that with other things as well.
Yeah, that was exactly.
Well, I think everyone was mostly used Hyper 30s instead of the damage diffusion the first go around.
Exactly, because you get more speed with that one.
Okay. Let's see what the next one. Next slide has for us.
I'm trying. I don't know why the keyboard's not working. There we go.
Your mouse needs a little.
No, I was pressing the key on the keyboard and it wasn't working.
Okay. All right. A little blue pill for the keyboard.
Well, I think it must be going bad. It was too far away from the monitor, or from the Bluetooth.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alrighty. But again, we already brought up murderous intent. Saint, you said you were somewhere within the target. Are you still hitting that target?
I've just finished a run through, but I can go back into another one if you like.
Is anybody in one at this point that potentially like further along, just to show? Well, now, if anybody's doing it, that might be further along, because I think most people have seen the first part of it. But if nobody else is already in it, just to show the effectiveness of the Ravager as far as the speed and how you drive it. So that would be great on any level. So
I don't have anything started. I'm in the mastery, but
I'll do the first 2 or 3 targets in the background, Hefe, while we're talking, and then we can go back in a bit later.
Okay. Let me see what else. We could do it either way, because pretty much at this point, all we have to talk about is bounty. And We could do that while we're watching that because I don't really have any other slides besides the next one, which is Bounty 44 for Bounty Basic. Mike, you want to click over?
Yes.
So
Going to try. There we go.
So that's pretty much the end of the slides. So we could watch you while if anybody has any discussions on bounty, or unless anybody wants to hit any bounty targets.
Well, there's none of the ClickSci ones aren't available at the moment, are they? So
yeah. So unless you want to hit Mike's base, but he doesn't have any bounty.
Yeah, no bounty.
So I don't guess we have much else to watch at this point. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and present that, you can.
Okay, I'm just give me 2 minutes. I'm just doing level 1. I'll just do the first.
Okay.
The only thing I notice in those targets though with the Ravager is it takes, I'm guessing, almost twice as long to kill that ghost crawler than it does with the photons.
It does, yeah. Once
it goes into shrouded mode, it's not taking. Yeah, once it goes into shrouded mode, it's not taking that damage over time anymore.
Yeah,
right. And then you got to wait
restart
for it to
when it dives, though.
I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time, Saint?
It appears to restart as soon as it actually goes into the deep dive. It's just the shroud where it doesn't seem to be taking the damage over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The deep dive, it's still working because it's a little weird, because sometimes if you've inflicted enough DOT, it's not having any effect when they're shrouded, but when it's unshrouded, but still you can't see them, they just sort of disappear. You don't know what happened to them.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I noticed. Otherwise, you just keep running around in circles and taking them out.
Yeah. I mean, the things there are to,
You run past the scatterguns, or no, the
scatterguns.
Yeah, the scattergun. Just run past those, and about the time you've done that, you've put enough DOT on it that you don't have to worry about it, and it kills it.
Yeah, the only tricky part I've seen is trying to manage they're not AT boats, they're drones or whatever they are.
Yeah.
The little ships, because you have to do a lot of shift clicking in order to aim at other stuff, because otherwise those drones are right up your ass and they're going to be firing at them the whole time, even if you don't need to, because they have enough DOT. So
I don't know that the drones actually do any damage to the Ravagers. I don't know if they're capable of it. Scratch the paint is about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much most of it just seems to be scratching the paint with the Ravagers, at least because like the first 3, I think I'm less than 33 seconds of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really. But the more the problem is, they're distracting your fire. You're not able to fire at the turrets you're going by because of the drones behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's more my issue with them, is they're just a distraction.
So I'm sharing.
You can't outrange those that other turret, not the scattergun. You can't outrange it if you just sneak up on it.
Which other turret?
There's
a missile turret and a scattergun turret. You can't outrange either one.
It's the missile one that you can just drive by. It's the scattergun that I can outrange it. I can sit right in front of it and not have it turn.
Yeah, I think on the scattergun one, if you do it perfectly, you can just outrange it.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's worth it, because you can run by it.
You can run past it. Yeah.
Only if you're more or less, just waiting to do something else or wanting to. I don't know. I do it a few times.
Okay.
But yeah, you can outrun them.
So I find I've got 5 in here at the moment. They're not all fully upgraded, but I only need 3 shots on the turrets to is enough to kill them.
Yeah, the only one that's. So
as you were saying, Hefe, a bit of shift click to just tweak between the targets.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of run around.
Yeah, especially in the later targets. Yeah, so everybody that may not know, shift click gives you the ability to keep on moving in your direction, but you're going to fire at a different target than what's closest to you. So, yeah, I had one hit me last night.
I got my first visit today on those.
Yeah, I don't think my guy was a good driver. I was sort of surprised by the result. Unless you got the same result I did.
I got the same result.
Okay, yeah.
It seems to me that they're running about 50-50 on win-loss. If you set up your base to kind of deal with them, you're typically doing okay.
Yeah, I had a harder problem. I had more problems with the mixed fleets, personally, with the combination of exterminators and abominations. So,
the left. No.
let's see. Yep. Well, as you saw, he had no corrosive damage.
245 for that one. No, okay. I haven't got X1 on the flag, and I haven't got U3 on one of the ships here yet. That's why I'm getting some of the tokens. But
yeah, the X1 on the flag. It's the damage done by the X1 weapon in the flag is it's slow projectile speed. So it doesn't really do a lot of damage to ships, but it is pretty brutal to turrets.
It makes a nice little boom.
Yeah, it's sort of fun. If you see it on a turret, you know that turret is done. Mm-hmm. You know, once you see it fire. So I've been trying to figure out how to adjust my build to try and take advantage of it. Let's see if my game's still up. Yeah, the one I tried to slip on was the it's the one with the 3 green bullets. Let me see what the name of that one is.
Yeah, sort of a high velocity ship type thing, was it?
Yeah, it's like a high velocity for corrosive.
Canisters or whatever it is.
Yeah, refit. It's get the right name for everybody. It is high volatility cartridges, which gives you 100% projectile speed and then 80% building and wall damage. But the problem is, at least the way I have my ship set up, it sends me overweight. One of the things I have considered doing is dropping one of the Z3M armors and replacing it with the level let me see. Nope, not that level. There we go. The Z2M, which is a tier 9, which causes me to lose some penetrator survival, but I keep the corrosive damage at +2, so I keep that, and it allows me to make weight at that point. And we have 100% boost. I'm not sure if that works. So I've seen 2 builds of the Ravager, one with interception system, and 2 with full focus choke. I've gone with number 1. So has anybody gone with the full focus choke and something else?
Nobody I know has.
No, I think most of us are running interception system.
And the interception system is, as you watch Saint work, is the interception system is providing you with enough speed bonus to outrun everything in regards to corrosive damage. Well, we get a little bit, but not enough to register. But
just a tiny bit, but it actually says 0 taken, so it's almost nothing.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. And full focus choke, that seems like a bad special, to be honest, because you get extra splash. At some point we can go to that. So, I put a slide together for that a while ago, but we don't. I don't know if we need to get into it, but splash. The fact that you don't, if you want to add spread, you don't want to add splash for this. The way this is configured, because you're hitting everything. You want to add spread and splash. You don't want to restrict your spread. So that's because the only reason you would add splash or spread is to hit secondary targets, but you're getting full saturation over the primary target that you're aiming at.
Well, there's nothing really close enough for splash to really help you a lot either, apart from like this little one where there's two turrets together, but it's probably not worth
Yeah, or the
effort.
ships. You can stack ships, maybe, if you get, especially in this instance, as far as doing the TLC versus the target, you're going to get ships strung out over
especially in some of the later targets, you get quite a lot of either ghost crawlers or the other ship floating around, especially if you don't concentrate on killing them first. So it could be handy in that instance, but
it's not something I'd really want to go mucking around with just to refit it for a campaign in any case.
No. It says that there was people had a full. I think it was actually Kickside. I think that's part of the problem. The Kickside build that they
yeah, they went all the damage.
But I think they also went full focus choke.
Yeah,
and which is like, it was not bad special.
Well, their build didn't do much in relation to the damage over time. They were just raw damage.
Yeah, it wasn't a great build. But yeah, the targets are pretty simple until you get to like 5. In regard, you don't have to use shift click until right around 5, and then it becomes much more important because you're getting chased by 1,000 drones. It feels like 1,000 drones.
Basically, nothing taken on that one with corrosive. So
now you're going to start to see a lot of.
There's one that's got a lot of drones. Of ghost crawlers.
Yeah, this one 5's got quite a lot of ghost crawlers in. Come on, come up. So again, just shift clicking on all the turrets here, slowly taking them out. Again, this is one I tend to go around the outside, activate some of the ghost callers and try and kill them off. As you say, KB, there's quite a lot in this one. Can't. One of the things I find is when you're moving so quick, it's hard to shift click some of the ghost callers sometimes. Everybody gone quiet?
Intensely watching.
It's not that exciting.
So you got about, what is this, 3 or 4 crawlers after you,
Yeah,
all at one time, and
but that's really not a huge problem.
it's not right. I was gonna say it's not a huge problem because you get a lot of.
Well, the closer together they are, the more chance you got to splat some of them.
You
Yeah,
splash.
exactly.
Yep.
But the only trouble is a lot of the times they tend to have different dive
Different cycles, yeah.
sequences.
You said it. Yep. There's your perfect opportunity right there where you get those forums stunned.
It's just a lot of mindless driving around. It's not really a planned route or anything. Just try and minimize the amount of damage you're taking at any one time. But come here.
It's just about time out. Yeah.
So again, basically nothing on the corrosive. It's just as long as you keep moving, really.
Yeah, and don't double back.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, I want to add projectile speed, and the thing I would drop would be the shaft splitter, because I don't have any countermeasures on my flag. But I'm leaving it alone at this point.
Generally speaking, a lot of the times you want to change one special, you generally got to change two because sort of they seem to work together.
Yeah, but if I drop the shaft splitter, like I said, if I drop the shaft splitter, I want to add the high volatility cartridges. Shaft splitter adds one multi-shot. I'm already at X1, so I've what am I, like 10 or 12? So losing one is not that big of a deal. And then I lose anti-accuracy and range, but I don't have any anti, so I'm basically just losing one multi-shot. And so that's more my thought, is I'm replacing that with projectile speed and building damage and corrosive damage. But I guess the important thing that I haven't brought up yet is the fact that basically the only attributes that you can add to the built-in weapon, and we're not seeing the built-in weapon here. And is there anybody that's after done with X1 that just wants to show why I want to get projectile speed on that weapon? because it misses ships. They lag way behind. So I think the plus 100 projectile speed and the additional 80 building, I think it's a good swap for just that one ship. But it goes over. That's what I'm saying. It goes overweight unless you go back to a tier 9, one of the tier 9 armors, and then you can make it all fit.
Seems like a decent trade-off, really.
Losing the armor is probably not the end of the world, because once you've got upgraded, you've got all that extra deflection from the upgraded ships anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
in fact, I think some people were nearly just about going to run 4 corrosive plates. So, losing a little bit on the missile one's probably not going to hurt you very much at all, if anything, anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about. But is anybody at X1 just wants to go through one of these targets, just so we can see what I'm talking about as far as the projectile speed on the built-in weapon is slow. And at least in these targets, you're missing unless you got them stunned from one of these towers or something.
Yeah, well, I'm at X1.
Okay, yeah, I just want to, once he's done, if you could just hit one of these targets, just so people can see, for the people that are not at X1, can see the projectile speed issue. And I'm not even sure, it's so slow, I'm not even sure if plus 100% is going to help. I mean, I could be wrong. And at this point, I don't remember how fast the ships were in that target to figure out if it would, how much it's going to help. But it misses pretty much all these ships except for the missile sub.
Bloody thing die.
It's going to die without you. Okay.
Yep, still got something left.
I think
Popped up there.
Or is it one of those little towers? There we go.
There we go. Yeah. What I found is, see, that was still under 10 minutes, or under 5 minutes in total to hit the target, which is quicker than the photon ECM on these targets. So.
But I'm curious why. I mean, just for time and whatnot, because I think you've been instant repair between each one of these. Instant repair on the water.
Not quite. I was on the first couple, and then I was 5 minutes 20 on the next one, and then I don't get quite as much on. I don't quite get instant on these last ones, and that's partly because I haven't got X1 on 2 of the ships. So.
And I guess it does show how important the X1 and the flag is, because it kills the turrets way faster than it's sort of like once you see it fire and it has a big fireball or corrosive ball, you're like, okay, as soon as you see that happen, you just forget that turret was there. It's quite effective.
My flag is still currently upgrading to X1, so. Okay.
Yeah, KB is, as soon as we're done here, we're going to switch over to KB. KB is going to show us the good and the bad associated with the built-in X1 flag weapon. Because it could use a little bit of improvement, and that's why I like the high volatility cartridges for that one.
And as you say with that, I think you're losing so little with only one on the multi-shot.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially if you can start hitting the ships, which the X1 weapon does not. So it's like a 12-hour thing. but I just wish we didn't have as many, as many targets like this. Doesn't it feel, we're not taking a lot of damage, but doesn't it feel like a lot of driving?
Oh, it's a lot of driving.
Yeah. How long from U3 to X1? For the flag,
About 8
About
days.
8 days, isn't it?
yeah. Well,
Change.
it's 10 days, 4 hours with no upgrades to your Intel lab, and then it gets down to like 8 days and change if you're at level 20. So it depends on your it depends on what level you are in regards to your Intel lab. Might be 10 days, 6 hours, but it is, you're losing 15% to get down to that number. So I'm assuming you guys are at level 20, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of the first things I decided to upgrade. So
Have a question thinking towards next week here. Do
Yeah.
we have an inclination for pillage? What people are going to need for the secondary? Are we on Ronin still?
Oh, it's a good question. How many weeks of?
we've only had one, but I didn't think, was it Ronin's last time?
Yeah, it was Everest or whatever on Ronin's. So I think that's what it is again. I was just wondering,
Yeah,
where we were at.
Yeah, I need to add talk to Drake and have him add that in, because that used to be part of the what they provided us as information, but that's fallen off. So because that is I haven't tracked it, I haven't. I
Yeah.
could look back through all this, all the slides and figure out when it popped up and what's going to be next. But that is a good question. But that is something that because I've also asked him to include, in any campaign, what ship are we using for this?
What's the intended? Yeah.
Are we using, what, or even what class? Because, we have the feral, was it feral animal or feral whatever, for the Badger. And I'm like, that could be anything, right?
well, we're certainly not going to be using badges, that's for sure.
Yeah, feral beast. I what is that TLC gonna? What ships do you have to be, using for that? Because
I'm kind of hedging my bet and thinking it's going to be a Ravager based.
There's been quite a few, like the high ground and those kind of things, that have been using the Everests, haven't they? For non-PvE tech.
So does everybody think the right after next is going to be the
new FM
next-
fleet?
Yeah, the next Everest?
They haven't started providing us tokens yet, so as soon as that happens.
Yeah, but I think they would start giving us those in a couple of weeks, in like a week or two, once we start seeing those tokens. All right, so now it's going to submerge. Whoop, didn't let it submerge. There we go.
So yeah, as you can see, because my flagship's not upgraded, that takes the most of the damage. But
Yeah, and it's also taking all the accuracy base, and you didn't use, if you're in the Saints position, I would use the Sea Serpent crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the accuracy base damage is getting aimed there. So,
but even so, that's 57 minutes damage. So it's 40 minutes. So it's really not going to take long. So.
Well done, KB. I'm going to switch to you. And the thing that we want to see here is the fact that the X1 weapon is not great at hitting ships.
Well, it's probably not really meant that.
Yeah, but that's why the whole thing where I'm like, that's why I think the high volatility cartridges with the increase in projectile speed, might nail some of these.
Well, if you get them with your damage over time, yeah, I think from memory, you only needed
But it's
about three
but it is
hits.
but it is a death sentence if it hits. You know,
Yeah, because
basically.
it's 1.5 million damage or something from memory.
Yeah. It's a death sentence once it actually, and it doesn't.
There
You
it
have
goes. That was the boom from the
yeah.
from
Once
the
you
weapon.
see that boom, that's when it fires, and it looks sort of like the corrosive that. What setting do you have on your? You have some odd setting as far as I forget. I used to see it a lot. The white flashing.
Yeah, I don't know what
There's
that.
something. There's something in your game settings. I can't remember what that is, but it's.
Yeah, I find it horribly bloody annoying, but I didn't know what there was that I could do about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Does anybody out there know? Because I knew at one point, but I changed it years ago. But this is. Because it's. I'm not sure that we're seeing when it fires. Besides,
Yeah, that's boomed on the stonefish.
Yeah. But okay, now if it fires, yeah, I think we're missing some of them because of the white flash. Yeah, those were standing still. I don't know. This is not.
There was a
Okay,
boom.
but yeah,
The clouds.
yeah, but we can't sell it that it misses.
There it goes.
Yeah. But as far as moving ships, okay, right there, you saw it miss the ghost crawler.
It won't ever hit the ghost crawler. I've never had it hit it.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
it goes.
It'll hit the stonefish though.
yeah. And any stun ships. Mike, are you up to hitting one of these?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we're getting, at least I'm getting distracted by the white flashing.
Yeah, you saw it go there.
It just got the crawler then because he was caught up on this thing.
Yeah.
You're done with the slides?
Yeah. Just go ahead and set up with it.
One thing left. There it is.
Yeah, then you hit the building. There we go. Yeah, anybody out there? I can't recall what. There's a setting inside of Battle Pirates that causes that, and I forget what it is. Oh, you just started it.
Yeah, well, I've got 10 tokens queued up, so.
Oh, okay.
I had no intentions of doing this one.
Okay, Mike is on the. I do not recall which one it is, but if Mike, you want to hit one, so
yeah,
we don't.
I can. I'm ready. I just wanted to wait until you're ready so I can.
Okay, we're
I'm
good.
gonna keep
We're
going.
on you.
Get started. Okay.
We're on you. It's a wake thing. Okay, is what Maggie's saying.
Oh, what a dumbass. Goofed up what I didn't want to goof up.
Yeah, because the main thing, because it was a little bit confusing with the bright flashing lights, but the built-in weapon misses moving ships.
Didn't even
All
fall
right.
on
See,
the
you see it?
Ooh.
See how far it misses? That's why I'm wondering if projectile speed of 100 plus is even going to matter, because it misses so badly.
But you haven't got the drones in the targets we're hitting at the moment, have you?
Yeah, they're not that fast, but I'm wondering
Yeah.
how fast it needs to be, because it is.
You know what? Also, to Pegleg's point, maybe I'll stop and let some drones gather around, see if they do any damage.
Yeah. You're not even anywhere near the ghost crawler, are you? With the
No.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the 100% projectile speed could help. I mean, it's hard to tell because we're not really dealing with that target. But
What's
that's
wrong?
what I'm thinking. Projectile speed is, okay.
Doesn't the building weapon also do a lot? Give you buffs on building damage?
Well, you can buff it that way. I mean, that's the only way you can buff it. But let me pull it up. Here's the stats on it. Built-in chem crasher, damage 15 million, or 1.5 million. Salvo 1, multi-shot 5, reload time 2, splash 10, range 89, spread 10. So there's nothing about building damage, and they also don't include projectile speed.
you had 4 drones lined up in a row behind each other.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, is see if they would.
Didn't even hit the back one. But as you
Yes.
say, it hits the stonefish pretty easily.
Yeah, if you
That time it missed it.
Yeah, missed it then, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think with 100%, it probably would hit the stonefish. But then again, we haven't got those in the targets the raid targets.
Yep.
I
But
put my antis on my flagship anyway, so I'm not going to take off the special for that one.
Oh, the shaft splitter.
Shaft
Yeah,
splitter,
I don't have any on mine, so.
How many everybody running in total? I've got 3 in total on mine, but
3 total counters.
yeah.
I think I'm at the same number. My 5th ship has 1. 4th ship has 1. My 3rd ship has none, and my 2nd ship has 1, and then my flag has none. So I'm running 3.
They really didn't look like they did any damage there, Mike.
I don't think so.
Yeah, to be honest, I still think the building weapon's more based around the turrets than trying to kill off the ships.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing I'm thinking is it also. What else? It's also the high volatility shells or whatever it is. They're also adding 80% building damage.
Yes.
So I sort of like it. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, well, unless they make a huge amount of changes to targets from previously, I'm not sure it's worth the effort of refitting.
Well, I have personally, I have build tokens I'm trying to burn.
Yeah, well, I got 10 queued up. I'm not going to refit.
No. I'm talking Forsaken mission ones. I'm trying to burn.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, therein lies the problem, isn't? If you make the change and then it stuffs you on the target, well, then you got to muck around and refit
I don't think it's good. I don't even know how it would make it worse, to be honest, right? Because, I'm losing one multi-shot out of all, out of, I think it's 12, because it's like I have,
Haven't you got 15 once you got it fully upgraded?
well, that's supercharge.
Oh, supercharged. So yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I got 15 supercharge, and then the base of the weapon is 4, and then between specials and upgrades, I've added another 8, so I'm at 12. So I go from 12 to 11. You know, less than 10% on one of 5 ships. Well, I could be increasing the damage significantly on the other ones. So, yeah.
You'd probably be about up to around a day to make the change, wouldn't you? Roughly
Take me what?
a day worth of build time.
Well, like I
Given
said,
that you've also got to change an armor as well.
I think it's let me check. It's and again, like I said, it's refit. Take off the shaft splitter.
Well, that shouldn't cost you anything.
Let's see, where's the let's see, corrosive. There we go. High volatility cartridges. Swap out an armor to the tier 9 armors. 17 hours, 40 minutes to make that change. So, I don't know.
Tell you what, my fleet's got some pretty darn good brakes. Sucker will
So
stop
your
on a dime.
intention's only for the flag?
Yeah, only doing this for the flag. That's only for the built-in weapon, the one that keeps on missing if you don't have the projectile speed. But my question is it still going to miss like that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, half the issue could be even the speed of your own ships that's sort of precipitating the misses as well. Because you've got such high speeds.
But it's aiming at a point at that point in time. It's aiming at that point, and so those ships are moving, but it's aiming at a point. So I don't think the speed of our own ships should impact if it's aiming at a specific point in the water. It's dumbfire, so it's aiming at a point in the water. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't. I don't think it should have a huge impact as far as, because dumbfires aim at a point in the water. They're not aiming at the ship.
It should hit that point within its given spread.
Mm-hmm. So,
well,
do we have much else?
Looking to do is to try and kite them then.
Try to what?
Kite them. Have them following you so that when it fires, they're running into it rather than you sort of broadsiding them. You want to either coming head on or them directly behind you. Because if you're off to either side, well, that's where the relative speeds of each thing is going to have an effect, isn't it?
I guess to a certain degree. Is there anything else that we should cover at this point in time as far as for next Wednesday's show? Have I missed anything? Mike's doing this, so he doesn't, we don't have the slides up, but is there anything we should say besides, best of luck in Bounty and yada, yada, yada?
Best of luck in the summer movie poster contest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get 5 bingers there. So Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that Drake knows he repeated himself or repeated what's already been done because that was done under Geely. The same thing, and I don't know. I haven't checked in a while, but it generally appears that people are repeating what they previously put in.
Hmm. And then there was a clarification that you couldn't use repeated. Ones from last year will be disqualified.
Okay. Yeah.
You've gone the robot, Efe.
Robot.
Okay. I don't know what to say, but
It'll come back.
already,
Get it, Nigel.
I can, you know.
Hmm.
But otherwise, if there's nothing else, we'll see everybody on Wednesday.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Okay. Well, later, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday, and bounty and everything else. So take care.
All right,
Good.
hooroo.
Goodbye.
Hooroo.
Later, peeps.